We're just pulling out of the station on the Union Pearson Express, the new train that links downtown Toronto with Pearson International Airport. It launched last month, just in time for the games, and it's going to play a starring role in shuttling Pan Am visitors smoothly and quickly. My traveling companion today, the most senior transit official in Toronto, Bruce McQuaig, who's the CEO of Metrolinx, which oversees long-term transit planning for the region. Thanks for riding along with me today.
Welcome aboard. Happy to have you here.
I was going to say, it smells new.
It's just like a new car.
Looks new, it really is. Tell me some of the features of the train.
Sure. It's a 25-minute trip right from Union Station in downtown Toronto to Pearson Airport. It has 2 stops along the way at Bloor Station and at Weston Station. And it leaves every 15 minutes, so it's very, very convenient. We have Wi-Fi on board.
Comfy seats.
Comfy seats. It's like being on an airplane. You can see the overhead storage compartments, lots of places for luggage, and the whole idea is to try to have this as an extension of your air travel experience and make it a little bit more comfortable, reliable, and easier and less stress-free for people.
Why did Toronto need this service?
Well, when you look around the world, other world cities, global cities that are financial capitals, when you go to London, if you go to Vienna, if you go to Tokyo, you see these kinds of services. People expect to have a reliable, fast, convenient way to get from the main airport right into the downtown area. It's about time that Toronto's had something like this. We've been looking at having a dedicated air rail link like this for about 20, 30 years. Now it's up in operation.
And it has been for a month now. I mean, I can see this car pretty busy for a morning run. How's it been going?
It's been going very, very well. We've been having on-time performance that's above 99% for our customers, which is a good thing for people going to the airport. And since we launched on June the 6th, we've had the very first day, we had people coming on with luggage. The trips arriving from Europe in the middle of the morning are coming lock stop, and people coming over to the train, because if you're coming from Europe, you're used to having a train trip to the downtown. And people leaving for Europe at the end of the day, they're coming in and using it as well. So it's great to see so much luggage on board.
Would this train have been built if Toronto weren't hosting the Pan Am Games?
Well, the wonderful thing about any kind of international event like the Pan Am Games is it becomes a catalyst for getting things done that you need to get done anyway. And we know that something like this will contribute significantly to the economy, to the quality of life in this city and this region. So it was great to have the Pan Am Games as a catalyst to get this done on time.
To bring it sooner, perhaps. As you said, it had been talked about for some time. It actually made it a reality, perhaps, in the end.
Right.
I want to talk long-term in a second, but in terms of short-term, the games are upon us. There are going to be many visitors here. The city's going to be bustling, and some would say snarled. Some fear it's going to be snarled. So what impact will this train have during the Pan Am Games?
Well, this will make it a little bit easier. We'll be having lots of people coming from outside of Canada, outside of North America, maybe for the first time to the Toronto area. And again, this is a way to get them downtown a lot easier to some of the major hotels and a lot of the venues that are core to the Pan Am Games. So this is a big part of getting people from Pearson International Airport and back again at the end of the games. It's one part of our overall plan for the Pan Am Games, but it's a really important part.
Vancouver did something similar ahead of the 2010 Olympics, as you'll know well, in putting the Canada Line train between like Toronto from the airport downtown. And ridership has exceeded expectations, as I understand it. And in some ways, the train's a victim of its success, in that the platforms are rather small and they can't expand, they can't add their capacity, they can't add more cars without considerable expense and considerable change. Have you planned long-term for this train to make sure you don't avoid a problem like that?
Well, we can have a 2 or 3 car train on this in this configuration, so we can carry up to about 170 people seated in every train. We also leave every 15 minutes. It's not possible to get a longer train, and that's really because of the way Pearson has been designed and built over the decades. So we can't get a longer train, but what we can do is we can have more frequent service. So rather than being every 15 minutes, we could go down to every 12 minutes, down to every 11 minutes. That's the way in which we're going to deal with demand on this service.
And then long term, what do you see as the benefits of this service?
Well, again, when you travel around the world, you see these kinds of world cities having these connections to their airport and to their downtown. And we really see this as part of demonstrating that Toronto is a world financial capital, for example. This is a way of demonstrating that we can find a way to reliably move people to the downtown from Pearson, and we can reduce congestion. We'll be carrying in the next couple of years, about 5,000 people every day on this service, about 2.35 million passengers a year, and that means a little bit less congestion on our highways and roads.
So that very much is part of the legacy of the Pan Am Games in Toronto.
Absolutely, and we always talk about the sports legacy and the facilities that are there, wonderful facilities for the future of our young people as they train for athletic events, but it's also about city building, and I really think that this is part of building a very diverse and functioning city here in Toronto and the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area.
Chris McQuaid, pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you,
Hey, we can put our feet up and enjoy the rest of the ride
Enjoy
now.
the rest of the trip.
Stress-free and hassle-free. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining me.